Thank you, Sam, for your very kind and generous introduction. First, folks, I must apologize for not being there in person. Some of you may already know that I'm dealing with cancer, and that has me grounded. Sam, you and IGIHOF have chosen me for this great honor, which I genuinely appreciate, and you've heaped a lot of praise on me. But I must tell you and the audience that the 4,000 people of Interface share this honor, for truly it is the followers that make the leader. Had the people of Interface not decided to follow, and that happens as it must, one mind at a time, I would be wandering somewhere in the wilderness of good ideas that did not take root. But they did follow, so here I am receiving this recognition that rightly they share. So on all our behalves, thank you again. I want to recognize and thank Gwen Lauritsen from our Bentley Prince Street subsidiary located in the city of Industry, California, for standing in for me today. Thank you very much, Gwen. Sam, you asked me to comment on the future and what I think it holds for humankind. That suggests that I have some sort of crystal ball, which I don't. But I imagine my guess is about as good as anyone else's. So here's my guess. I expect the living systems of Earth to continue to decline until about 2030. I expect atmospheric concentration of CO2, as represented by the Keeling curve, the continuous tracking of atmospheric CO2 at the top of Mount Mauna Loa in Hawaii, to continue its upward trend until about 2030. Therefore, I expect global warming to intensify beyond 2030 as momentum in the system dissipates. I expect global population to continue to grow at its present rate until about 2030. What, you ask, do I think is going to happen in 2030? I could be off by a decade, but along about 2030 or 2040, a new generation of managers is going to take the reins of business. A generation that already gets it and is chomping at the bit to get into the game. With new focus on what is truly important, new companies, new smart inventions, a new generation of entrepreneurs in management will begin to put the industrial system on a more benign path and move it toward sustainability. In other words, we will see the coevolution of two of our most powerful institutions coming to fruition in an accelerating trend toward sustainability. Those are the institutions of education and business and industry. This coevolution is already happening, but it has a way to go yet until the 20-somethings become 40 or 50-somethings. That brings me to the second vision of the future that Sam asked me to address. What is the role of this organization in building that sustainable, greener future? I don't need a crystal ball for this response. Humans crave recognition, and recognition is a big part of your mission. So you can be a powerful motivator of those bright young minds. I would ask only that you maintain the highest standards. Avoid falling for greenwash, that transparently self-serving fake coat of green that covers up insincere commitment. The other thing about recognition is that it helps build awareness. In this role, you should remember that you are not alone. Did you know that before the global recession, there were some 3 million NGOs, non-governmental organizations on Earth? I don't know how many have gone under in the last 3 years, but there is one huge, unorganized, but very driven group of allies out there. It has the potential, along with business and education, plus the church, yes, the church, and government at every level, to change everything for the better. So my advice would be to stay involved, look for synergistic partners, hold to high standards, keep your message clear, and as we sang in Sunday school as children, brighten the corner where you are. Brighten the corner where you are. Someone far from harbor you may guide across the bar. Brighten the corner where you are. Again, Sam, thank you for this high honor, and please forgive my presumptuous vision of the future. But maybe about 2030, you could take a look at the Keeling curve, one of the most important collections of data in Earth's history, and see if it's bending downward, which would be really great news. Thank you again, and have a great conference.